So last week I expressed frustration about Google Plus and how I had to move to this channel and was locked out of my other one. I'm a bit less frustrated about that situation now, although I am still frustrated with Google Plus because my feed looks naked and I liked a video and I commented on videos and none of that showed up in my feed. I don't want that in my life. And two, I commented on videos and I haven't gotten any replies. Maybe those people have nothing to say to me, or maybe Google Plus is the problem and something has gone wrong there. So anyway, I am here now. I actually thought about doing this video series thing for a while, and since I'm here, I guess this could serve as an introduction to you can know more about me. I'm doing this in 3 parts because I do not want to upload a 20-minute long video. I will cry a lot. My computer cannot handle that shit. And also, I'm going to deal with different topics, so if you don't want to hear about the religion thing, you'd rather hear about the contemporary YA thing, you could watch part 2 as soon as I upload part 2. Some background information about me. I grew up going to church every Sunday. I went to a Christian school. I went to a Christian summer camp in the summer. So I was all up in that Christian environment growing up. 10 years ago, I borrowed some books from a friend. They were the Forbidden Doors books by the McGee and Me guy. It's about this girl named Becca. I believe that she's in high school. She has a younger brother named Simon. Simon has an internet friend. I want to say that his name is A, but that could be Pretty Little Liars infiltrating into my brain. I could be remembering wrong, but this internet friend might have actually sent this brother and sister out on assignments like, oh, there's that girl over there who's experimenting with voodoo. You must help her. A few years ago, I thought about rereading some of the books in this series because of that nostalgia factor. But to be honest, I really think that I would be offended if I reread them now. I think one of my problems was that everything that wasn't in this Christian box was Satan. Good luck charms, Satan. Reincarnation, Satan. Voodoo, Satan. More background information. When I was 13 years old, I moved to Texas. And there we went to a church that started out medium sized, but then it became this evangelical mega church, and it was big enough to have a bookstore within the church. Of course, when I'm around a bookstore, I like to go in the bookstore. And this one naturally only sold Christian books since it was in a church. They sold Bibles, devotionals, and of course Christian fiction. I saw Melody Carlson's True Color series, flipped through those, did not think that they were very good. So I landed on another series by Melody Carlson called The Diary of a Teenage Girl series. I only read Caitlin and Chloe's diary series. So Caitlin is a 16-year-old white middle-class girl who lives in a Christian home. At the beginning of her first diary, she is in a lukewarm state and she tries to be like a normal teenager. She's kind of questioning her beliefs, but then she accepts Jesus into her heart for real as opposed to before when she was in that lukewarm stage. And one of the problems that I had with this series is that I felt like maybe the development of the main characters kind of stopped after they accepted Jesus. Not directly after. After you go through a big change in life, you have to kind of know how to like connect your old life with your new life and what needs to go and what needs to be re-evaluated and that sort of thing. I think that the only books worth reading are books 1 and the book where she goes to college. Those have the most character development. And with Chloe, I think that all the books blurred together after the first book. So, like the Forbidden Doors series, both of these series would piss me off in retrospect. I felt like some issues were brought up that maybe the author didn't know too much about. Like, I'm really annoyed how, like, eating disorders was portrayed because I didn't feel like she did enough research in that area. And oh my god, I remember when she tried to deal with race. This one time, Chloe was on a camping trip and she talked to these strangers about this guy called Jesus and, you know, how he can make your life better and that sort of thing. And somebody brought up, like, oh my god, my mom's a Christian and she's a total asshole. And Chloe's response to that was that she's probably not a real Christian. And that really bugs me because it's like, one, I don't like it when people say, oh, that person's not a Christian just because that Christian makes them look bad. And secondly, you don't have the authority to say something like that. That really bugs me. But it goes back to a problem that I had with the series. I don't think that the series really showed that there was diversity within Christianity. I felt like both series, they only showed this one like specific brand of Christianity, and then anything outside of that was atheism, and that's not the case. There are billions of Christians in the world. They don't all agree on like homosexuality, abstinence. They don't all feel the same way about abortion. They don't all feel the same way about like other religions. Are those people hellbound? And some people would say, no, they're not, because we're all trying to get to the same things. And what is hell? Is it fire and brimstone, or is it separation from God? And I would have liked to have seen, not just within that specific series, but anywhere, kind of deal with that idea that, you know, there are Christians who are really strict about this, this, and this, and then there are Christians who are not. And, you know, kind of show that variety. And of course, I would have definitely loved to have seen portrayals of different religions other than Christianity. But of course, I think that that might come with a few possible pitfalls that comes with portraying the other. Going back to the series about Caitlyn, the books were like all white up until book 3. In book 3, the author just decided to all of a sudden introduce characters of color and deal with racial issues, and I didn't feel like she did enough research in that regard. And after she made her big point about how we all bleed red, all of those characters of color disappeared and we continued following the more important white characters, which I felt was contradictory. So I think that that could be a problem with when it comes to the portrayal of minorities, I guess, or the other. But if you guys know of any recommendations that, you know, does incorporate those types of experiences in a real way, you can let me know. Yeah, these two books are like the only remains that I have of this stage. So this is Diary of an Anorexic Girl, and I got this for Christmas, I believe. I'll probably talk more about this in part 3. This is a journal that I also got as a gift. It still pisses me off that this curves outward. Fun fact about this journal, I actually became an atheist while I was writing in it.